Roger. In the original Dawn of the Dead, Roger and his crew, a team of SWAT officers and pilots, have taken over an entire shopping mall during the zombie apocalypse. They're living the dream. Unlimited supplies, arcade games, everything they could want. Roger's part of the team trying to secure the mall by blocking entrances with semi-trucks. He's been getting more reckless, more aggressive, taking unnecessary risks. You can see it in his eyes. The stress is getting to him. He's moving too fast, not checking his corners. A zombie lunges from behind one of the trucks. Roger spins and shoots, but he's so focused on that one threat that he doesn't see the others closing in. Another zombie grabs him from the side, teeth sinking into his arm, then his leg. Roger stumbles back, realizes what just happened, and you can see the exact moment it hits him. He's been bitten. He's done. The worst part? He doesn't die right away. He survives long enough to slowly turn while his friends have to decide what to do with him. They watch him fade, watch him become the thing they've been fighting. Man, it's not just ridiculous, it's heartbreaking. All that confidence got him killed. Johnny. Right at the beginning of Night of the Living Dead, Johnny and his sister Barbara are visiting their father's grave in rural Pennsylvania. Johnny's annoyed about the drive, making jokes, being a typical bored older brother. "They're coming to get you, Barbara!" He does his best monster voice, waving his hands around, trying to scare her. She tells him to stop, but he keeps going. Classic sibling behavior. Then a real zombie stumbles toward them through the cemetery. Johnny thinks it's just some drunk guy or a weirdo and tries to physically stop him. Bad move. The zombie is way stronger than he looks. He grabs Johnny and, in the struggle, slams his head directly into a gravestone. The sound is sickening. Johnny drops, unconscious and bleeding. Barbara screams and runs to the car. We never see Johnny again until the end, when he returns as one of the undead. The irony is perfect. He literally told his sister that they were coming to get her, and then they actually did. Should have taken your own jokes seriously, Johnny. That's what we call foreshadowing, folks. Frank. In 28 Days Later, Frank is the father figure of the group, the voice of reason who's kept his daughter safe throughout the outbreak. They're traveling with Jim and Selena, trying to reach a military safe zone. Things are looking up. They found supplies, avoided the infected, and actually have hope for the first time. Then they arrive at a military blockade. Frank is standing there, relieved, letting his guard down for the first time in weeks. A single drop of blood from an infected crow hanging on the barbed wire above the blockade falls directly into his eye. That's all it takes. One drop. Frank realizes what happened immediately. He knows he's infected. He knows what's coming. Within seconds, he starts convulsing and turns into one of the rage-infected zombies. The soldiers immediately shoot him dead in front of his daughter. The whole thing takes maybe 30 seconds from blood drop to death. It's ridiculous because Frank survived everything. Starvation, dehydration, multiple infected encounters, dangerous humans, only to be taken out by a random drop of blood from a bird. Glenn. In the Walking Dead TV series, Glenn has been a fan favorite since season 1. He's survived everything. Zombie hordes, hostile humans, supply runs gone wrong. He's smart, resourceful, and one of the most capable survivors in the group. Then Negan shows up with his barbed wire-wrapped baseball bat named Lucille. Negan lines up the group and plays a twisted game of eeny, meeny, miny, mo to choose who dies. The bat lands on Abraham first, and he gets brutally beaten to death. Everyone's in shock, but then Daryl loses his temper and punches Negan. As punishment, Negan decides someone else has to die. He chooses Glenn. What follows is one of the most graphic deaths in the show's history. Negan beats Glenn with the bat repeatedly. Glenn's eye literally pops out of his skull, but he's still alive, still trying to speak to his pregnant wife, Maggie. "I'll find you," he manages to say before Negan finishes him off. The death itself is brutal and realistic. What's ridiculous is that Glenn survived so much, became such a beloved character, and then died in a completely random selection process. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong reaction from Daryl. Bill Murray. In Zombieland, Bill Murray survived the apocalypse by dressing up as a zombie, wearing makeup and prosthetics to blend in. It worked perfectly. Zombies walked right past him. When Columbus and his group arrive, Murray is still in zombie makeup. He thinks it's funny to scare Columbus by pretending to be a zombie. Columbus, following his survival instincts, shoots Murray in the chest. Just once. The irony is that Columbus's #1 rule is double tap, but he's so horrified that he just shot a comedy legend that he doesn't even finish the job. Murray dies, and his last words are a joke about Garfield. Columbus is devastated. Bill Murray survived the entire undead population by outsmarting them with camouflage, but he couldn't resist playing a prank. He was so committed to the joke that he forgot other survivors might actually shoot zombies on sight. It's the most Bill Murray death possible. Funny, tragic, and completely avoidable. Anna's neighbor. In the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead, Anna is a nurse living a normal suburban life. She comes home from a long shift, has dinner with her husband, goes to bed. Everything's normal. She wakes up the next morning to find her young neighbor girl, Vivian, standing in the bedroom doorway. Blood is dripping from the girl's mouth. She looks wrong. Before Anna can react, Vivian launches herself at Anna's husband and tears his throat out. Just like that, in seconds, Anna's normal life is over. Her husband dies, then immediately gets back up as a zombie and attacks her. Anna escapes by locking herself in the bathroom. What makes this ridiculous is how fast everything changes. One minute you're sleeping peacefully in your suburban home, the next minute your neighbor's zombie kid is murdering your husband. There's no warning, no gradual buildup. Bub's revenge. Back to Day of the Dead, we need to talk about Bub. He's a zombie that Dr. Logan has been training and studying, teaching him to use basic tools, listen to music, even perform a military salute. Captain Rhodes thinks this is a waste of time and absolutely hates it. At one point, Rhodes murders Dr. Logan right in front of Bub. Huge mistake. Later, when Rhodes is trying to escape the outbreak, wounded and desperate, he runs into Bub again. And here's the beautiful part. Bub remembers what Rhodes did. This zombie, this creature that's supposed to be a mindless eating machine, picks up a pistol, aims it at Rhodes, and shoots him. Multiple times. A zombie using a gun with intent. Rhodes is so shocked he can barely process what's happening before the other zombies finish him off. After shooting Rhodes, Bub gives a little salute, just like Dr. Logan taught him. It's darkly poetic and completely ridiculous. The whole movie, Rhodes treated zombies like they were nothing but animals, and the one zombie with a functioning brain gets his revenge. That's called poetic justice, and it's delivered by a walking corpse with better aim than most action heroes. Dale. In The Walking Dead, Dale is the moral compass of the group, the old guy who believes they should maintain their humanity despite the apocalypse. He's wise, cautious, and always thinking about the bigger picture. One evening, Dale is walking alone near the farm, upset about a moral disagreement with the group. He's distracted, not paying attention to his surroundings. A zombie that's been stuck in the mud manages to break free. Dale doesn't hear it approaching until it's too late. The zombie tackles him to the ground and tears his stomach open. The group finds him almost immediately, but the damage is done. They have to make the horrible decision to end his suffering. What makes this death ridiculous is that Dale survived walkers, hostile survivors, supply shortages, and countless close calls, only to die because he was distracted during an evening walk. He was so focused on human morality that he forgot to watch for the actual monsters. Sometimes the philosophical debates get you killed faster than the zombies. Ben. This is the most tragic and simultaneously most ridiculous death in zombie movie history. Ben is the protagonist of Night of the Living Dead. He's smart, capable, makes all the right decisions throughout the movie. He survives the entire night barricaded in a farmhouse, fighting off zombies, dealing with other survivors who won't listen to him. Morning finally comes. The sun rises. A posse of armed men is outside, systematically clearing the area of zombies. Ben hears voices and movement. He's relieved. Rescue has arrived. He walks to the window to signal for help. A man in the posse sees movement in the window, assumes it's a zombie, and shoots Ben in the head. One shot, dead. Ben survives the apocalypse only to be killed by the humans who came to save him. The posse doesn't realize their mistake. They drag his body out with meat hooks, throw it on a pile with actual zombie corpses, and set it on fire. The movie ends with stark black and white photographs of Ben's body being burned with the zombies. It's not ridiculous because it's gory or over the top. It's ridiculous because of the cruel, pointless irony. The real monsters were never the zombies. They never are. Dr. Fastback. In World War Z, Dr. Fastback is the brilliant young virologist assigned to accompany Jerry Lane to find the origin of the zombie outbreak. He is humanity's best hope for a cure, a genius who understands the virus better than anyone. The team travels to South Korea to investigate an early outbreak site, moving through a military base at night in a torrential downpour. Visibility is near zero, and the mission requires absolute silence. As the team is startled by the Zex, Fastback panics and sprints back toward the plane. He slips on the wet metal ramp, and as he falls, he accidentally fires his own Glock. The bullet hits him instantly. The ridiculous part? The man meant to save the world dies because he slipped in the rain and tripped over his own feet. All that intellect and importance, and Mother Nature plus a clumsy mistake took him out. Sometimes the apocalypse just gets you anyway. Kaufman. In Land of the Dead, Kaufman is the wealthy businessman who's been living in luxury while everyone else suffers. He's corrupt, selfish, and has zero empathy for anyone below his social class. When the zombies finally breach his tower, Kaufman grabs a suitcase full of money and tries to escape in his car. He's driving away, thinking he's safe, thinking money will save him like it always has. But Big Daddy, the intelligent zombie leader, sees him. Just as Zombie Cholo is attacking Kaufman, Big Daddy rolls a gas pump into the scene and sets it off. The car explodes in a massive fireball. Kaufman dies clutching his money, which is now completely worthless. The ridiculous part isn't just that he died trying to save his cash during the apocalypse. It's that he genuinely believed money still mattered. He thought being rich would protect him even from zombies. Turns out zombies don't care about your portfolio. Big Daddy taught him that the hard way. Trash. In Return of the Living Dead, Trash is a nihilistic punk rocker who spends her nights dancing on tombstones and daydreaming about her own demise. In a moment of eerie foreshadowing, she describes her ultimate death fantasy, being swarmed and eaten alive by a group of old men. When the trioxin gas reanimates the cemetery, her morbid wish is granted with brutal literalism. A horde of skeletal, rotting zombies corners her, tearing into her flesh in the exact manner she once romanticized. Trash's edgy fantasy turns into a waking nightmare, and she is later reborn as a mindless, brain-hungry zombie herself. It's a pitch-black reminder that in a horror movie, the universe has a sick sense of humor. If you've got any movie suggestions or want to see a specific franchise covered, drop your ideas in the comments below. Thanks for watching.